Objective completed.
Ребят, на базу. Базу захавали.
Just that dream again. Hello everybody, Shadefire here, and welcome back to Subnautica with another What's Update. This one's going to be a little messy because I already actually recorded this entire update, and didn't realize I had muted my mic at the very start. So we're going to have to kind of cut some stuff together here, because I didn't actually lose the footage or anything, so I can kind of splice that in for certain events that I can't get to repeat here otherwise. So obviously the main focus of this update is the addition of the interior of the primary containment facility, as well as all of the story events regarding the Sea Emperor Leviathan, and the cure for the coronavirus, which is not the final part of the story, as that is escaping the planet, but it is kind of the penultimate part of the story, so, you know, if you're waiting on all that story stuff, maybe just skip it. Anyhow, we're going to be heading down to the primary containment facility. However, we're going to take an easier way than I did in the original video, as I have activated the teleporter nexus inside the containment facility, and we'll just use that. Because, luckily, you get to skip the entire Cyclops journey, which was a nightmare, thanks to the last update, since the Cyclops can now take damage and is targeted by everything constantly from a distance. So, even tiny little bone sharks will constantly ram your submarine for no reason, causing it to burst into flames. It's just a very unpleasant thing to drive right now until they tweak that some more. So, let's see, I've got this base on the floating island. Oh, one of the other things that I can't show here because I already did it, but honestly isn't really worth showing, is they've added a new life pod in the Cragfield biome, Life Pod 7, which has a few knickknacks in it, like this toy car, because their survival fabricator was malfunctioning and just producing a bunch of junk, including the toy car, some of these caps, well, gray caps, not the blue one that you find on the Aurora, as well as an unusual doll, which I have over here. I guess this is supposed to be some YouTuber. I'm sure nobody would recognize him. We'll call him Morgan, or Mark, or Marvin, maybe. So far, he's just keeping company Gregory the Gorge and Ensign Kaplan. Also, there's some new models in here, but they're like stuff like the trash can, which just looks a little fancier, but is not distinctly different. There's also a new model for the bar table, which again, you can barely tell, except it's shinier. Alright, so we're gonna head down to the moon pool, grab the Seamoth, and then drive over to the teleporter, hop into the prawn, walk through the teleporter, and then explore the facility, and have a little chat with its occupant. In fact, we've already had a few bits of contact with that occupant, which are when you first explore a Precursor facility.
What are you?
When you first obtain the blue artifact.
Here, to me.
And when you first arrive at the containment facility.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
I am what you seek. Want to help you.
So you can see my above water base connects down here underneath the island, where my Seamoth is. I think I already have all the tools we're gonna need, since, you know, I've already kind of crossed the dangerous zone. So let's hop in and head out.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
Okay, so we're going to the Mushroom Forest teleporter. I probably could have opened a closer portal, since there is about 6 or 7 of them that connect to the primary containment facility, but I ran out of ion crystals that you need to activate them the first time. Alright, we're just about at the teleporter cache. However, I did see a Reaper Leviathan just kind of off in the distance. I was wondering if he'd get closer. But it looks like he's wandered off. Since, of course, the mushroom forest does kind of border on the sand dunes. Welcome to the pop-in zone, as the mushroom forest has kind of always been. And this is even with it, you know, installed on an SSD. But hey, this time they're saying that the kind of like September update might be optimization. Might be.
Warning. Maximum depth reached.
Alright, we can't even...
Hull damage imminent.
We can't even go down here with the Seamoth because of the bug where you have to reset the depth. For some reason, the pressure compensator has to be taken out and put back in whenever you load in. And it seems to only be with the Seamoth. I haven't noticed that with the other two vehicles. Alright, where is that door? Definitely don't want to drive through this since that is air inside. Oh, and before we head down there, there's one more thing that was added to this update that is relevant to the primary containment facility, and that is the addition of a bunch of mysterious pipes in 6 different areas. But we'll see the reason for those shortly. So let's hop in the Marauder,
Welcome aboard, Captain.
which you can take right through the teleporter. And yeah, there are 6 of these teleport chambers in the containment facility, which we are now inside. Which are all connected to this central sort of foyer area. And here we can see the entrance where the, the force field was that we saw in the last video I did. There's the Sea Dragon and the Triesta. To actually get in here, you just need to use the blue relic from the thermal generator facility. So there's actually not too much to see here, aside from the, kind of main focus. But there are 2 sort of important side rooms that we'll check out before we head into the moon pool. There's also this thing, which basically is, as far as I can tell, an infinite source of ion crystals. There's one of these, drillable resources here. And then once you break all three of those, it begins producing a new one. So as long as you, kind of stick around and wait, you can just keep getting more ion crystals, to make batteries, power up the teleporters, and what have you. Since before this, they were kind of a limited resource based on, all the Precursor facilities. We also have these various alien relics, including this yin-yang claw, which apparently is an alien relic, not some weird human one. And it's made out of plants. But we do have this very familiar-looking sword, which, as it turns out, the Precursors took from Earth. So these are all presumably from different alien civilizations they've encountered. Which seems kind of odd that they just have these displayed here in this facility on this planet that they don't otherwise live on, but are just trying to research a cure to the virus they're afflicted with. And like one of those over there is a deactivated device that contains enough energy to destroy the planet. But yeah, it seems odd that they have those because otherwise these facilities don't have any sort of really ornamentation or anything. So over here we have the pipe nexus that connects to all of those kind of pipe networks we saw. Though there's a distinct lack of peepers down here. Well, maybe not. I didn't actually see any last time I looked. And that's what you get from scanning the actual entry points, and then this is the... Oh, actually, I'm not sure what that one's for. I have it here somewhere. Again, this is stuff that I can't unscan. Well, actually, there are some console commands to unlearn stuff, so I think those might apply to databank entries, but suffice to say, these pumps are pulling in oxygen-rich, cool water from various parts of the surface to pump into the tank below. Which makes sense since the area outside the facility is pretty hostile. What with a bunch of lava water and horrible monsters. Though it's odd that only peepers are getting sucked in. Though, as it mentions there, they are kind of actively seeking out the entrance points. It's a shame that you can't kind of squeeze into the pipe and use it as a shortcut down here, even though you would probably drown before you got here. And these other rooms on the diagonals are all teleporter caches, which, now that I look at it, I guess there's only 4, not 6. There's the bomb one. And this one that looks empty apparently contains deadly nanobots that deconstruct living organisms from the inside. this is the egg chamber, where there are examples of eggs from all the various species. I think this one has a mesmer egg. I don't actually recognize a lot of these by species because I haven't really messed around with the eggs too much, but like, I'm pretty sure this is a gasopod, and that's an amp eel. The one up there is a jelly ray, but like a lot of these, like, I think this might be a crash egg, but I'm not sure. And that, I believe that's a reefback egg. Oh, alright. Hello, lava lizard that clipped in to the facility. Now you're trapped. Oh, no, maybe not. Goodbye, ghostly lizard. And this here is a sea dragon leviathan egg, which you can't actually obtain. They only appear in these precursor facilities. Not sure what this one is. Might be a crab squid egg. Looking at it, this might be the reefback egg. Just based on its size alone. And this is a sea emperor leviathan egg, not leg. They don't even really have legs. And like this one, I have no idea what this is. This might be a lava lizard egg, which I think they added in this update. And like that giant purple one, no idea what that is. Maybe a jelly ray? Or not jelly ray, sorry, a crab snake. I was thinking of the jelly shrooms. Anyhow, nothing too much in there. And then we have one final chamber above the entrance. Where we sadly find a sea emperor egg that has been torn open, which, as we see here, they cut out the egg fetus before it was actually completely developed, which we can find over here. Yeah, look at the poor fella. So basically,
Caution. Mild dehydration detected. Fluid intake recommended.
the sea emperor produces enzymes that can neutralize the Karar bacterium. However, the one they have in captivity was old and sick, so it wasn't actually producing effective enzymes, so they wanted to try to get them from the babies, but they couldn't figure out how to hatch them, so they tried cutting one open to see if they could forcefully extract them, which also didn't work out. And now that we've had a tour of the facility, I think it's time to head in and say hello.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
So again, here's an area where you activate an event that can only be activated once. So we're just gonna show that before we jump in here.
Are you here to play? The others came but played alone. They bored me. Now they're gone. And instead, I have you.
And let's go. You know, it may actually not be a good idea to jump down, because it'll be a pain in the ass to get back up here. So I'll just use my sea glide. So there she is. Pretty much the largest creature on the planet. So you can see that there's quite a lot of fauna in here as well. And there are hostile creatures, but they won't attack you in the aquarium. Can we scan her? Get close enough? Maybe not. So when you jump in, she just kind of swims in circles. However, if we go over here... where there is a helpful little O2 plant, as well as the eggs in stasis. She'll kind of protectively watch over us while we are near the eggs.
Emergency. Severe dehydration detected. Seek fluid intake immediately.
So these eggs are basically like the xenomorph eggs in that they can sit in stasis for an indefinite period of time. And as it says here, it's likely that the environment in this tank is only ideal for an adult,
Vital signs stabilizing.
not for the hatching of the babies. So, if we're going to want to cure ourselves, we're going to have to figure out how to hatch these. And I believe we're going to need to stick a crystal on here. I don't know what it is with the animation.
Young want to hatch,
It's always
to
broken.
play outside this place. We have been here so long. The others had ways of giving passage to the outside. I asked them for this, but they could not hear. If you can hear, you can help. If you can help, I will tell what the others wanted so badly to know.
.30 seconds.
So presumably the precursors, for whatever reason, couldn't hear the telepathic signals, and that's why they couldn't get instructions on how to hatch the eggs.
You gave me what I asked for. I give you what you seek. My young cannot be forced from their shells. They must be coaxed. This is what the others could not see. I give you this secret willingly. I hope I will not be disappointed again.
Alright, so she gives us the blueprint for
30
hatching
seconds.
enzymes, which we'll need to make in order to hatch these guys.
New blueprint acquired. Oxygen.
So what do we actually need to make these enzymes? Okay, we just need 4 seeds. Membrane tree seed is pretty obvious where to get. Gabe's feather comes from deep underground places like the blood kelp. Sea crown is just kind of near... Oh no, wait, sea crown is not the one. That's some kind of fan. Sea crown might be a problem because there's only like 10 of those in the map. What is that? What is that? It's a fireball, which probably got in here from outside somehow. Alright, well first off, let's see what kind of plant life we have in here. A lot of these air things, which is handy because you have to spend a bunch of time underwater here. If I remember correctly, this enzyme recipe is actually placeholder. Okay, good. So the rarest one is in here. However, I may still need to do a bit of legwork to get the other ones, since I'm not seeing a whole lot of other plants. It's papyrus, cave bush, and the glowing reeds. Oh, there's a rouge cradle. Violet bow, papyrus, red wort. Is that what we needed? Gabe's feather and membrane. Well, I don't think we're gonna find any membrane here. No, for that we're gonna have to go to the Grand Reef.
30 seconds.
Okay, so let's head up, grab some air, head through that portal to see where it leads. Does she not have a collision box?
Oxygen.
I wonder if this leads to an underwater area, if we could just drive the sea moth through it. Oh, okay, so this is underneath the gun, which is not actually a very good place to be, because this is usually where that Reaper hangs out. Yep, there he is down there. But I guess the idea is once we hatch the babies, they'll come through this portal and be free, and presumably not get eaten by the Reaper. Okay, so I guess we'll cut it here, because otherwise we're gonna do a lot of swimming. In fact, I might actually go back to the sea moth and just kind of drive to where I need to be. So let's skip ahead a little bit. So, as you can see, I've got the other 2 seeds we need, and now I'm going to try driving the sea moth through the portal. Once I find it again. And we might have a run-in with our old buddy here. It looks like they gave glowing eyes. I think he noticed us. Maybe not. Nope, I'm just gonna hang out down there, I guess. One annoying bug with the teleporter so far is it seems like when you go through one, it kind of stops making any of your beacons actually show up, regardless of whether you turn them on or off again. Oh, this is really deep for the sea moth, actually. Which shouldn't affect it, since we're in a tank and not actually under pressure.
Warning, maximum depth reached. Hull damage imminent.
Nope, I guess it doesn't like that. Or at least when I get out, it doesn't like that. Because it's not taking any damage now. Weird. Seems to be fine if I leave it underwater, so we'll just leave it there for now. We have to go back to the Cyclops because I forgot to go back to the base and craft the actual hatching enzyme. Which I hope we only need one of because it'd be a real pain in the ass to get all of those ingredients 5 times, considering you can't even carry about 2 sets of them.
Welcome aboard, Captain. All systems online.
Alright, so it's not like something I have to equip, so I guess we just go down there and use it. Alright, time for a little xeno husbandry. I wonder if we just stick them into this computer. Sure, just jam them in there. Look at these floppy little buggers. We'll just pretend that their goofy spinning is because they're newborn.
Performing self-scan. Vital signs normal. Detecting trace amounts of foreign bacteria. Continuing to monitor.
Still infected, though. Nope. Can't scan her. Not looking so hot.
30 seconds.
I'm kind of curious how we actually get the enzyme out of these guys. I mean, I don't really want to go up and stab one.
Caution. Dehydration detected.
My young are swimming for the shallows. I thank you. Their freedom is my end. Perhaps next we meet, I will be an ocean current. I will carry seeds to new lands, or a creature so small it sees the gaps between the grains of sand. Farewell, friend.
So I guess they're a bit philosophical in addition to being telepathic, which makes sense if it's an intelligent species like that. So I'm wondering now if these guys are just gonna pop through the portal. Looks like that's where he's going. But again, that doesn't actually... Unless that's what they're dropping. Alright. I guess we can't actually cure ourselves yet, but this would be what we use to do that. Probably have to pick these up and craft them into something. Which is odd because the actual item that cures you is in the game. Enzyme 42.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
And I'd have to guess that they don't actually come through the portal. They just kind of maybe go certain places in the map after this. Like, I wonder if you can find them just freely swimming around now. Anyhow, I guess that'll do it for the Voices of the Deep update. Which, you know, it's definitely starting to come along, getting towards the end game. Now they pretty much just have to actually implement the rocket sequence. Though it sounds like they're gonna basically not let you activate the rocket sequence until the game is actually launched, even though they're gonna be adding the stuff for it. Which, I mean, I guess I can see why they do that.
Emergency. Severe dehydration detected. Seek fluid intake immediately.
But, anyhow, I've been Shadefire, this has been Subnautica, and I hope you'll join me with the next update, whenever that may be. Till then, you folks all take care.
Attention. Patching in a local broadcast from the Sunbeam.
I don't believe it. There's someone down there. Aurora, Survivor. We have your PDA signature. I don't know how you walked away from that wreck, let alone survived since then. But we'll be happy to bring you on board and hightail back to Federation space. Stand back. We're approaching the landing site now. Breaking atmosphere in 5, 4, 3... What is that? No, the red spike. From the planet?